Hey, everybody, back in the lab, and just wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody in our community. You, the listener, everyone who's bought shirts, hats, merch, and especially our Heroes of Edera over there on Patreon. Thank you guys all for being contributors to this. If you want to learn more about how you can support the series, you can check out all of our links and stuff in the bio. That's all for now, and let's get into the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure for the Seventh Valkyrie, where we watch one guy go from total obscurity to maybe 7 seasons in a movie, and discover the power of friendship and justice along the way. Or not. Who knows? That's why we're watching. That's why we're paying attention. That's why I'm recording every week as we march on into the future. A future which looks increasingly uncertain. Hi, if I haven't introduced myself, I'm Colin Sharp, creator of Seventh Valkyrie. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time putting on the usual, not putting on, but getting into the usual overjoyed mindset for TABTA. I titled this episode, Welcome to the Resistance. And today that's what it feels like. My ability to continually be surprised by the world around me is incredible. And I have a hard time wondering a lot of the time whether because no one knows the future, and you don't want to be, reacting before things happen or trying to win a war before it starts. But one thing that has become clear to me in the past, the past 5 days since Wednesday, since America made its choice, and what a choice it was. I've made no bones about how I view justice and diversity on this podcast. I think they are the foundational belief that I have that drives my faith in the spirit of the universe, and I have always believed in fighting for the underdog, and everywhere you go, the stories are about the ragtag band of colorful, interesting characters, resisting the the monolithic, boring empire or whoever. And I thought that with enough of those stories, I thought maybe it had become baked into the cultural conscience that we were, that good people as a whole saw the value of justice and diversity and people with differences and courage and learning and being, all those wonderful things. And it turns out we live in a different world than I thought. I've lost family members this week, people who I thought I could trust with the future, and I can't. And I lost faith in a lot of things this week. Not everything. There are still 70 million people out there who took the time to do their research and to learn about the way they would impact the world and to really responsibly dig into, really dig into what is happening. And those people, I think, will continue to fight just like they always have. When you look at the history books, progress is, it's moved forward, and it's moved forward through setbacks. And there are people who are on the wrong end of history, and I will say it, the wrong end of history. And I just pray that we don't have, that we have a chance as a people, American people, to make a choice again. Because last time there wasn't, they didn't go gently. Sorry for the somber tone. And if, the if you're sitting here coming into this podcast like, oh man, why is my show, like, why is he so sad? Like, fuck off. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion. The people who actually have empathy are mourning today, and for this week, and will be continue to fight. But like I said, the name of this episode is Welcome to the Resistance. And I don't know how I'll be resisting. I don't know how we all will find our way to resist, but we will motherfucking resist, because hope and unity and joy and the diversity of our, and a diversity of ideas is more powerful. It's more important than any fucking out-of-date, old-fashioned perspective on the world. It's more powerful than any dictator. In the worlds of Charlie Chaplin, dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And as long as men die, liberty will never perish. It might be a long fight, this one. We have technology as a species that gives outsized control to individual people. And I think until we as a society have the tools to deal with fake information and fake, news and manipulation and lies, I think we're in for a rough few years. And what I ask is people who listen here, people who are willing to go on an adventure, and people who are willing to, engage with the Seventh Valkyrie. I challenge you with me to find your own way to resist, and to resist the easy way out, to resist the cowardly fear of, not being willing to, of ideas that are different than yours, of different people who are different than you. I challenge you, my listener and my friend and my colleague and comrade in the rebellion, that I ask that you, maybe not the rebellion, but certainly the resistance. I ask that you always be willing to challenge yourself, because if you're willing to challenge yourself and test again and again what you believe in, you will find at the end, a strength. And that's what I've been agonizing for decades over the right way forward, and I haven't come to a conclusion. There is no shining golden path, but there is a series of values, and there is a belief in the human spirit and the people around us, and that there is, that in justice, we find freedom. And God, guys, that's went a little long today. This is what I got. I could talk about this for ages, but I won't keep you on too long. Who knows what the future holds for us in this, in Seventh Valkyrie. The series will keep coming out, because that was a story about freedom and unity and diversity and understanding and challenging your own ideas from the very beginning. I didn't think it would be so necessary and so relevant now, but that will continue, and that story is more relevant, I think, now than it ever has been. And, this little adventure behind the adventure, rather than being one man just from total obscurity to fame, is about one person now also finding their place in the fight for justice and the fight for freedom. And I see the words of people who I've fought with, of people who I may never speak to again, bouncing around in my head. And, I wish that everybody had been supported and given the education to understand new ideas and not be scared by them, the courage and the emotional power to be wrong, and to accept that being wrong means that we're on the pursuit to being right. I wish from the bottom of my heart that all people did not struggle and didn't, and were given a balanced education and weren't being subjected to toxic emotions and feelings. And so there's no place for hate in my heart right now. There will come a time, and there are people who will deserve retribution and punishment for what's happened. And that'll come, but because at the very least all men die. But in the meantime, I'm figuring out where I fall, and I challenge you guys all out there, whoever you're listening. I challenge you to think about how you can make this world a better place for everybody in it. And I hope that, this podcast finds you in a place where you can do that. And if you're struggling right now, I hear you, and I hope that I don't know. I don't fucking know. This one ran way long. I love you guys. Like I said, this will be the start of a journey. And the purpose of this artwork has always been to open people's, minds. And I remember one time I dreamed I would write a story that would save the world. And I don't think this is going to be it. It might be, but it might be a piece. It might be something that, we can share a perspective on complicated conflicts and unclear battles and joy, and still find that at the end of it, people are human. And I don't know, I'm talking around in circles. Love you guys. Start of a great journey. Welcome to the Resistance. And keep an eye out on Friday for another episode.